Hey guys, what's going on? This week we're going to do a really cool topwater lure made by Lucky Craft. It's called Gunfish. If you've never heard of it, Gunfish is kind of like a popper slash walker. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. Okay guys, so the Lucky Craft Gunfish, like I said, is a popper slash walker. It comes in 3 sizes, but we're going to focus on the 2 main sizes that are essentially used for bass fishing, the 95 and the 115. This is a 95. It's the smaller of the 2 that we're focusing on, and the 95 has a length of 4 inches, a weight of 3/8 of an ounce, and it has number 6 size hooks on it. And then the 115, which I don't have, has a size of 4.5 inches and a weight of 3/5 of an ounce, and it also has number 6 size hooks. Now the 95, one of the things that's different from the 115 from the 95 is the 95 actually has feathered trailer hooks. You're not going to find that on the 115. I found that out just through checking them out in stores and watching a few videos about it. So if you're expecting feathered trailer hooks on a 115, guess again, it's not going to happen. So just be prepared for that. Let's go ahead and take a measurement of this. Pretty straightforward measurement here. Without the ring, it is 3 3/4 of an inch, and without it, or without the ring, it's 3 3/4, and with the ring, it's just over 3 3/4. So what are they saying? They're saying it's 4 inches. Well, as you can see, it's definitely not 4 inches. Let's go ahead and check that out again. It's definitely shy of 4 inches. And this is the 95. Like I said, I went for the 95 because primarily at the lake that I fish, I was actually kind of talked into it with going from the 115 to the 95. I have the Sammy 110, I think this one is, and I figured I'll get the smaller version of this one. So, because the main lakes that I fish have primarily spotted bass, which are smaller. So I went for this one instead. Now, this is a really neat bait. It's kind of praised as one of the best topwater baits that you can buy because of the fact that it's such a do-it-all type of bait that it'll actually work as a popper or a chugger type of bait, or as a spook walking type of bait. The thing that I found about fishing this, it really walks easily. If you just wanted to pop it, if you were to just pop it straight like this, you're going to find that it actually wants to walk this way. It actually wants to go from side to side. So it's actually a really, really easy walker. And it casts a mile because it has this tungsten weighting system. I guess they are tungsten. You can't really see into this one, but there are 2 balls back here, and I guess they're tungsten. And then there's another one right in here that goes from side to side. You can hear this one if you listen closely. And then you also have rattles up front. There's actually a rattle chamber up here that has some plastic balls in here. So it's actually a rattling bait. Here, we'll shake it this way so you can actually hear them. This way you hear that ball from side to side. But this thing casts a mile. It casts almost as good as that I'm a skimmer. So very, very great casting bait. So let's go ahead and look at our colors here. This is first color is going to be this MS American Shad. I showed you this color last week versus the Kelly J. It's got the 3-dimensional eyes, obviously, and this has actually got glued on scales on it, but it's also got this etch scale in it, which both of these baits have that, just from the fact that it's a Lucky Craft. It also has, you can see the raised gill plates on it. It says Gunfish right on it. Let's go ahead and take a close look at that. So anyway, there's MS American Shad. And this next one here is just called Chartreuse Shad. Chartreuse Shad has the light blue back on it. It's obviously showing up a little bit darker on the camera, but it's fairly light. And then it goes into just this pearl type of belly, and it's got the the shad yellow stripe on the side with that little kind of like that bluegill trademark right there. And this one is transparent for the most part. I mean, you can kind of see through it. If you held it up to certain lights, you can kind of see the inside of it a little bit. I mean, it's not like this one. So this one is Chartreuse Shad. So you can look at the mouth here on this. You can see that it's got this. It's not really carved out like a popper is. I mean, you look at, like, here's a Rebel. You can see that. I mean, this one's carved out quite a bit. This one is primarily flat, and then it's got that little cup inside of it that's carved out. So when you walk this thing from side to side, it's not going to really pop. What it's going to do is it's going to make a big bubble around the side of it. Now, if you walk it slowly, it's not going to really pop at all. It's just going to be a walker. You wouldn't even think that it had that cupped mouth on it at all, just because if you're walking it slow, it really doesn't make a bubble or a chug at all. You really have to give it a good snap of the rod tip to make that thing come back around and give that mouth to get going in the direction forward, so it'll actually get some air into the water to make that good pop into the water. But once you get the hang of it, I mean, it'll be a bubble here on this side and a bubble here on this side, and there's all kinds of commotion in the water from this bad boy, between the rattles, just the fact of the normal walking motion, and to boot with the bubble around the head of it. So fantastic bait, you guys. You guys should really check them out. I want to make sure that I talked about everything on here. Like I said, it's very, very easy to walk this bait. There's not a lot of effort to walk it. It's going to take a little bit getting used to get it to really pop for you. This one, let's go ahead and show you a side-by-side comparison between the 110 Sammy and the Gunfish. If you were wondering you got that cup here on the Sammy, and then you've got this one here on the Gunfish. So I really enjoyed playing with this one. There's just so much commotion on the top of the water. I felt like it was working just like working a rip bait on top of the water, because of the way that it's so erratic. I mean, it still has that rhythmic walking the dog zigzag, but with that being said, it's very erratic. It looks like an injured fish. So check these things out if you haven't checked them out before. The Lucky Craft Gunfish. A lot of people like that 115 size if you're going for the largemouth bass. I went ahead and went for the 95 size, but check them out either way. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned next week.